Hi, I'm Chris Principe from Financial IT, and I have the pleasure today of speaking with Vijay, the CEO of Volante. Hi Vijay, how are you today?
Good, Chris. How are you?
Very good. Good. I'd be interested in hearing a little bit about the company.
Volante. This is a company I started in 2001. We are in the business of data integration and payments, servicing all the top tier banks and financial institutions. It is a product that helps financial institutions to reduce the time to market, to take the products to the market much faster, and also help the financial institutions to maintain it much easier and do their own things, giving a lot of freedom to them and the flexibility for them.
Well, it's very interesting for me, and the payment space has gone on such transformation. What today are the key products and services that you're putting out there to help the financial industry?
Sure. The thing is, I'll take one step back actually before I get into the payment space. Fundamentally what Volante has been doing is, as I mentioned earlier, reducing the time to market for the customers to take their products to the market. What that means is it's more about introducing automation, reducing the manual intervention. So it's more about automation. So in the payment space as well, we see a lot more places where customers are spending huge amounts of manual intervention, and we are trying to reduce that. So the payments, with all the pain points the payments industry is going through, with the new changes and the new challenges, new technologies, we feel like we can help the customers to address it today and also as they go forward.
I mean, excellent. This is certainly, from our perspective, we hear a lot of this pain in the industry, and to hear that it's being addressed very well on your side. So can you go into a little bit more detail and depth in the particular products? I know that there's a lot of new things that you're working on, some things that you'd like to share with us.
Sure. Today I think we have announced one more product which helps the latest technology, blockchain technologies, with these open ledger technologies. We are already, it's just out for the last few months, I guess, with one of the companies called Ripple, and we have already partnered with them, and we have a working product in which we have demoed it here, and we are going to demo that to a lot of our customers as well. And we are getting a lot of good traction there, saying customers have looked at it and they're saying this is great because it's when they're thinking about these things, when we show the solution, they really love it.
Very interesting for me because, of course, as you mentioned, blockchain is getting a lot of coverage, and I think a lot of people still associate it very much with Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, and that might not have given the right image of blockchain. So it's really refreshing to hear that there's other applications in financial services, and that you've actually brought some of that into the market. I'd
Absolutely.
like to hear a little bit more.
Again, you're absolutely right, because blockchain has been associated with Bitcoin. A lot of people have not been looking at other things, but I think now the knowledge of blockchain technology is becoming a little more popular, and people are learning more on how it can be used, right from the securities market to the payments market, the settlements and all that. I think as we go forward, again, there will be a lot of excitement regarding that, and there will be a lot of new players, and eventually there will be shake-up, and then some of the leading players will settle down as the leading leaders. But what we are trying to do is, it really doesn't matter which vendor you go with, which technologies we go with. Our architecture itself is built in such a way that we are, I would like to use this phrase called future-proof, which will support you as the technologies change or industry change, but you'll be able to address it in a very agile fashion to address those needs as you go forward.
For me, the big takeaway is this future-proof. So you're protecting the investment that's already been made.
Yes.
You're enhancing that investment, and then continuing to allow them to value that investment. So you would definitely be the right man to ask, what are the trends going forward in the future that we should be looking at in the industry, and then, of course, as your business and products and services?
The beauty of this industry, I guess, the change is always constant. So the challenges, I guess, again, lots of challenges we are seeing is when you come from the product's point of view or vendor point of view, are the vendors really fulfilling the needs of the customers or financial institutions? What are the gaps there, and why are customers spending either a lot of money, resources, and time? How one could help them out? Okay, so the challenge is, how do you reduce those things? Okay, in terms of resources, in terms of money they spend, in terms of the time they take. Whatever field you take, challenges in regulation, you take payments, you take blockchain, in any of those things, how do you reduce the effort and time and money you spend on these things? So I would say all these challenges are going to create a lot more other challenges because as you go through this, there will be a lot more machine learning that's coming into picture in the industry. A lot of software will be built in a way that it can recognize some of the patterns, and a lot more automation will be there, a lot more AI will be there, artificial intelligence will be there. So will that cause some problems for the employment actually, whether it's going to eliminate some employees? How do you repurpose those employees? So it's a different type of challenges you get into, but these are challenging times actually, and sometimes I feel this generation, or whatever we call it as, we're all fortunate. We are going through this revolution actually, by lack of better words, I guess. In a few years, we have seen so much of change. In the past, like say for example, when the automobile industry started, when the horse and carts were there and were moved, the buses and there was so much of time between that evolution actually. But now, 20 years back, we had fax machines. Now nobody uses fax machines. Telegram is gone, and it's all instant messaging. And the email itself is, my feeling, is becoming legacy actually. Nobody wants to use email unless you want to write a huge mail. Otherwise, instant messaging and all that. It's a different world. We are going through very fast changes, and so the one main important thing I want to talk about Volante itself is what we are trying to do is about giving the employees the right opportunities to meet those kind of challenges, along with having a nice life. It's not about financial incentives for a nice life, but work and life. How much balance do you have? Okay, and how ethical these organizations are going to be. Do you really want to work for a company like Volante? What kind of morals can you do or spread in the industry? Having that pride in saying I'm working for a very ethical company. Okay, they take care of me. I take care of my health, my well-being, my family time. So we are very, very conscious, and we want to encourage to have a balanced life, because we are all getting caught away with having devices, and our theme is detox the devices. Okay, detox them, because there is a time in a day you need to use them, and there is a time in a day you don't want to use them. When you're at a dining table with your family, you don't want to get distracted with your emails or text messages. So we want to have a healthy lifestyle actually. So having a nice, well-rounded life is more important, along with addressing these challenges, but minimize the disruption to your actual life. Otherwise, there is no point in having a life.
You know, Vijay, I really like the sentiment that you've shared with us. At Financial IT, we're really pleased to get the chance to speak to you. You know, the takeaways for me is the passion you have for your customers, but one that I don't see often, the passion for your employees also. And you really, all components are what make a successful business, and I think this is why you've established Volante as one of the leaders in the industry. So from Financial IT, really pleased to have the chance to talk to you today, and thank you for spending the time with us.
It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure.
Great.
And as I said earlier, I guess the business is all about not just making money from the customers. It's about building an organization which everybody will allow to work with and work in.
Well said.
Okay.
Thank you very much.